go ahead and do that. So welcome, welcome. I'll introduce myself and the name of this workshop in a moment, but first and foremost, I truly believe that when we as women, or as people, drop into a meditative space and into an intentional space, the information that we're able to both give and receive comes from a different place. So we're going to take just a moment to drop into our hearts, drop into our centers together, and take some breaths together, and so that will be delicious. And this is how I always like to start anytime I'm on Zoom with ladies. So let's go ahead and take a moment, if you have your candle, to go ahead and light it. And in a moment, I'm going to unmute you because we're going to take some breaths together. So just know that that's coming. If you need to mute yourself for background noise, totally understandable. So I've got my candle lit. It's a little hard to see the flame. And I'm just going to put my candle down so I can focus on a little bit of breath. And I just want to invite you to just take some deep, delicious breaths for yourself. Hopefully you're in a place where you can just give yourself some delicious, gluttonous breaths. In a moment, we'll take a couple breaths together, but for now, just for yourself, just some deep, nourishing fuel breaths, giving yourself all the oxygen that your body needs. And just letting the earlier parts of your day, the earlier parts of your afternoon, just start to fade into the background as you bring yourself fully present here in this breath, in this moment, sitting in this chair. On this day, on this call, with this perfect constellation of women sitting here with you. Even though we are virtual, I want you to just imagine just kind of reaching out your virtual hands and taking the hands of other women in the circle, other wise sisters who are here to learn and grow. And I want you to just take some deep breaths into the parts of you that are the facilitator, the healer, the leader. Take some deep breaths into the archetypes that live within you that are the oracle, the channel, the wisdom keeper, the priestess. Whatever archetypes live within you that are your empowered leadership facets. And just breathing a little bit of the breath of life into those archetypes that live within you, that are powerful, that are here to make a difference. And in a moment, we're going to take a breath together. I'm going to unmute you all. And we're going to, in a moment, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're just going to release any sound or sigh that wants to be released. So let me unmute you first. You can hear this. Let's go ahead and just take a deep breath in. Oh, yeah. Let's do that again. Deep breath. So delicious. I'm going to keep it unmuted for now. And the last moment of this meditation, let's go ahead and bring a little bit of movement. So if in that breath you realize that there was some place in your body that could just use a little wiggle or a little twist or a little turn or a little reach or spiral, a little self-massage, I want to invite you during this entire call, because this is a long one. This is a long call. Maybe it's the end of a long day. To continue to stretch, move. You can even stand up. Sometimes I see women on the call doing hip circles. So no shame. Just bring the movement. Stay in your body. Stay in your breath. And I'll try to remind you to breathe as well. So yeah, just delicious. Sometimes it's easy to be in these bodies. Sometimes it's hard to be in these bodies. So we're going to do the best we can while we're together. I'm going to leave it unmuted because actually there's not much background noise, but I may mute you again at any point. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here on time. I just really appreciate you. So I'm going to give you some acknowledgement, a little further acknowledgement in a moment, but I have a couple questions for you. I'm going to be inviting you to interact in your chat box. So in a moment, I'm going to have you chat in the chat box if that's easier for you. I also just want to say I'm delighted to see so many of my clients on this call. So you can take notes in like the flow of a masterclass, because this includes some of Susan Kirby's ingredients that she gave us for setting up a talk or a call. This includes kind of the ingredients for invitations. So you can be taking notes for those of you that are with me in my business mastery circles. So my questions for you, and you can type yes into the chat box if this resonates, is the first question is, are you ready to learn how to make money with your workshops? Just type yes into the chat box if that's why you're here. Awesome. Lisa, Allison, so nice to see you. Dawn, Amelia, Rainey, Reba. Oh, so nice to see some of my favorite women. Heather, awesome. Welcome, Heather. Beautiful. My second question is, are you ready to create your business from a relaxed and supported place? And I would even say a relaxed, feminine place. Type yes if that resonates with you as a next direction or a deeper direction that you want to go. Creating your business from a relaxed and supportive place, a relaxed and feminine place. Awesome. Okay, Reba, awesome. Thank you so much for bringing your truth. Mentioned doesn't identify as feminine. That's perfect. I totally appreciate all beings who are here today. All of you, so welcome. And one of the topics that's come up recently between me and some of my women friends is this idea of, regardless of your genitals, regardless of your identity, being female or woman or feminine or not, that we all within us have some masculine and some feminine. And we're different balances of each of those. And the art of manifestation is sometimes about bringing those masculine, feminine qualities that live within us into balance and having nothing to do with gender identity. So I just want to presence, when I use the word feminine, it doesn't necessarily mean the genitals you have or the identity that you carry with you into the world. So just to clarify that. And the other thing I wanted to say is that we have been passed down, especially when we look at the current political situation and he who shall not be named, our president. We've been passed down, we've been taught a lot of what I would call masculine models for doing business, for getting shit done, for creating in the world. And we as a community right here on this call, like, we can all see how some of those models, many of those models do not work. So another way that I might be using feminine today is speaking to models of collaboration and working together and coming together. And sometimes those are kind of labeled as like feminine models. Relational might be a better word. So I wanted to speak to that right here at the beginning of the call. And thank you so much, Reba, for bringing this to point, because I wasn't actually going to start that way, but I'm glad to create some context. So welcome to How to Earn $5,000 to $20,000 with Your Next Workshop. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge all of you again for being on time. I'm just sending you love for being the kind of women who will take 2 hours off of your holiday day to sit here. I know that's a lot. We're busy women. We're up to very busy thing. And also, I want to appreciate you for being women who understand the importance of bringing your message out into the world through your workshops, through your offerings. Because I really believe that it is the work that we do right here in our own backyards, empowering other women, empowering other people, empowering children, empowering our families, empowering our communities right here, that is the catalyst for them to then take their light out even further. So I just wanted to speak to that. And I'm passionate about this topic, how to earn $5,000 to $20,000 with your next workshop, because I've certainly had my own journey around event production. So a little bit of my story. I'm not going to spend too much time on my story because I want to give you the good stuff, and we got a lot to cover. My story, I've been an event producer since I was about 18 years old. I started producing my own events. And let me tell you, there were plenty of events where I made like $0, or I was in the red, or maybe I just broke even. And so I just want to speak to that. Currently, my business is entirely built upon collaboration and events, workshops. So I actually love producing events, and that's why I continued, even though I wasn't for a long time making any money. I did it because I loved it. I was like, well, I don't care if I make money because I just love doing it. And that's true, and that's still true. And it's really helpful to make to make money with my events now. I have a business figures. But there was a time not that long ago, maybe about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, where I was actually on food stamps. I had been sick for a very long time. That impacted my ability to work. And I also made the mistake of relying only on ticket sales for my events, my monthly meetups, etc., in terms of making money. And that is the fastest path to food stamps ever. So just, my journey through illness, running a business that I was really passionate about, but just I didn't have some foundational pieces in place. And I'm going to give you those foundational pieces today. The turning point was when I decided to dedicate my business to collaboration, to sister support. I had been working with one-on-one business coaches, and I had also been part of some of these big programs, these big like cattle call programs, and it was not working because I've got tattoos all over my body. I'm a unique person. I felt like I was being given these jackets that felt like ill-fitting jackets to me. And I'm just going to mute you all. Felt like ill-fitting jackets to me. And what I found was when I would sit with women who, like high vibration women, solution-oriented women, and we would sit in circle and help each other untangle our business tangles, that they would give me out-of-the-box ideas that matched me. That I could sit in circle and just get like a brainstorm of like, what about this? And what if you try this? And this is what works for me. And take that and kind of integrate that and tailor the most perfectly fitting jacket for me. And that's when I started having success in my business. I had my first $10,000 month, which was amazing. Eventually, I became a little more consistent about having that level of income every month. I had my first $20,000 month, and then over time have just fine-tuned and continue to get feedback and continue to see where there's lean-in with my sister circles, collaboration, sister support, masterminding my business so that I now have consistency in my business. And that's really what I want for you. So that's why I'm passionate about this topic of making money with your workshops. Yes, so I'm going to give you some really good stuff today. I want you to feel free to take notes if you have a journal, if you prefer to type, whatever helps you internalize and really take in information. I'm going to give you the best that I can in the time that we have. For those of you that want even more, don't worry. I am going to let you know how we might work together further. I'm not going to do any selling on this call, but I will have an invitation for those of you that want to connect with me further and find out about all the awesome programs I have for women. I'm happy to give you that information. So the final thing I want to say is not the final thing I want to say. We've got 2 more hours. Another thing I want to say is this is really what I want for women. I want women to, what I want for all women is to let go of the lone wolf paradigm. To let go of doing it by yourself. the lone wolf paradigm is a tired old paradigm, and I do think of it as being kind of the masculine paradigms that don't work anymore. I really want a world where women are linking arms together to open to opportunities, to open to clients, to open to prosperity together, because every single woman on this call, if you have your video on, I want you to just take a moment to actually lean in and see the lovely irises of women on this call with you, so many beautiful, wise women, and just see that every single woman here is a doorway. Every single woman here is a doorway to a handful, to dozens, to hundreds, maybe to thousands of other people or women who would love to know about what you are creating. So when we come together, we truly, truly move mountains, and that's really why I'm passionate about meeting with you in this format. So I want to just paint a future. This is in regards to your own workshop business. I want to just paint a little future with you. Let's take a moment to unmute and take a breath together. So let's just go and take a deep breath in. Out with a sigh or sound. Breath, movement that you want to release. Great. So let's paint a picture of the future. Let me take a sip of water. I love being here with all of you. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you're living this fabulous life. Maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's a year from now. If it helps, you can even close your eyes, or if you want to keep them open, that's fine. But just really feeling into this fabulous life where it's easy to live in the Bay Area. In fact, you're not only living easily here, you're thriving here. You are feeling nourished and cared for by your business, by your workshops, by your clients. You're experiencing true energetic nourishment from your workshops. Not only are you giving, but you're also receiving. You're experiencing true energetic nourishment from your clients because the money / effort / time exchange is balanced. Maybe you even have the support of a tribe of women who are dedicated to your work getting out into the world. And ideally, you are experiencing ease in filling your workshops and programs. You have a relaxed schedule that allows for downtime, family time, self-care, but that is also profitable. And you're consistently receiving treasure maps and resources to turn your ideas, all of your creative endeavors, into money-making structures, into fulfilling structures. Let's take a breath into that. And if that vision if any part of that vision resonates with you, you can type that into the chat box. I'd love to see if that vision resonates with a yes or yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Lisa, Victoria, Amelia, treasure maps. Dawn, Lauren, beautiful. Oh, Marnie, Marcia, Ursula, Catherine, beautiful. Hi, Catherine. Ah, gorgeous. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, good. Reba says she wrote it all down, especially the first part about easy in the Bay. Wow. Yeah. Oh, man. I remember what it was like to feel like I was working really, really hard to live in the rat race of the Bay Area, only to then work really hard to then live in the rat race of the Bay Area. And it was exhausting. It's part of what made me sick. In fact, I'm seeing an epidemic of, over the years, over maybe the last 5-10 years, as I talk to women healers and light workers, an epidemic of women who are dealing with autoimmune diseases, with stress-related illnesses, with adrenal fatigue-related illnesses. So I know that it's really hard. Yeah, thank you, Lauren, for sharing vulnerability about your health recovery. Yeah. So let's dive in. So here's what we're going to cover. And I have notes, so if you see me, my eyes doing weird things, it's because I'm looking at my notes, but I want to make sure you get everything. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about how to price your workshop so that you walk away with new clients. So there's a lot of different ways to price your workshops. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We're going to talk about the precise flow for how to build trust and intimacy with your audience before, during, and after your workshop. We're going to talk about some of the business structures that you must have in order for this model or these models that I'm going to give to you to work. And we're also going to talk about some of the skills and tools that you're going to need to have in place for these profitable workshops to work. We're also going to talk about the #1 way that wealthy women lightworkers fill their workshops so that you can also immediately start doing this. And I'll tell you briefly about my business mastery programs, very briefly. I'm going to answer all your questions. There's 2 different times during this talk that I'm going to actually open it up for Q&A. You can pick my brain, ask anything. So if questions arise, take notes, write down your questions so that you can be concise, because there's a lot of you today, okay? At the end of the call, only for those of you who are still here live, so I want to give you some incentive to stay for the whole class. You RSVP'd, you registered for this class because you knew on an intuitive level, on a logical level, that you needed support and help around this. So I'm going to reward you if you stay to the end of the call. For those of you that are live with me, I'm going to give you a tool for how to invite thousands of people to your event in just a few minutes. This is actually through Facebook. I'm only going to talk about Facebook very briefly. But I'll give you a tool for how to invite thousands of people to your Facebook event without being spammy and in just a few minutes, without having to do like the one-by-one invite thing. And I'm also going to give you the key ingredient that you must add to your workshop so that people want to hire you to do deeper work with you, to do long-term work with you, to engage with you as a paying client or a high-paying client, even after the workshop. So the key ingredient that you're going to want to weave into your workshop that will have people actually want to say, okay, awesome, that was great, let's work together. And ultimately, I want you to come away from this masterclass with an understanding for how events, workshops are a lucrative and fulfilling next step, and possibly the key to doubling or even tripling your business. And I've seen that happen. I'll be weaving in some stories of women I know who are engaging in these pieces that I'm going to be giving to you. So, let's take another breath. Any wiggle, any shake. Notice if there's any places in you that are holding any clenching or tension, maybe a little massage of the jaw, the little muscles around the eyes. So I'm going to talk about these workshop models in a moment, but first I want to talk about what I call the magic of 2000. And I just typed that into your chat box. I would like, because I know some of my clients are here, who here has you could just type it into my chat box, I do, or yes I do, or whatever you want to type. Who here has some kind of package or program that you offer that's priced at $2,000 or more? Awesome. Lisa, Candace, Don Angel's working on it. Heather has a few. Marcia, Denise, Sarah, Michelle. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, some not yet. That's awesome. That's great. You're in the right place. Abiola definitely has a few. Abiola has some very beautiful VIP packages. People come from all over the world to pay her thousands of dollars because they receive great healing from her. Awesome. Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much for being honest with me. So, you don't have to have a package that's $2,000, and I know many of you on this call have packages of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. So this is a community. This right here is a constellation of some really incredible community leaders. But the magic of having a package that is at least $2,000, there is something magical that happens when you charge $2,000 for something, where it becomes easy in your mind to understand how you can earn $10,000 in 1 month. because all you need is 5 clients to sign up with you. Now, what if you have a package of $3,000? In the Bay Area, it is not uncommon to come across courses, programs, packages of $3,000. It means with just 3 clients, you can make almost $10,000 in just 1 month. And I remember my dear friend Mei Vu mentioned something to me years ago, because she had at the time a $10,000 package, and she's like, Jessica, all I have to do is find 1 new client every month, and that's my $10,000 month right there. So I want you to pay attention if there's any places in you that's like, oh, I don't have a $2,000 package. That's okay. You can start where you're at. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework in a moment, and I'll weave in why this is important later. But there is this magical thing that starts to happen when you do have a $2,000 program that establishes you as an expert in a certain way. It establishes you as credible in a specific way. In people's mind, there's a psychological piece for your clients, but there's also in the way that they show up as well because of that investment, and also the magic in your mind where it becomes easy to see how you can start to have $5,000 months, $6,000 months, $10,000 months, because it's just easy math. It's easy for the brain to grasp. And when your mind can grasp it, then it becomes easier to manifest it because you're already there mentally. So imagine, I want you to just wave a magic wand. If you could earn an extra $10,000 this year, or if you could make an extra $10,000 this month and next month and 2 months from now and 5 months from now, how would that shift your financial experience? How would that shift your experience of money this year? I know even where I'm at, I have a business in the 6 figures. An extra $10,000 a month, that's actually still huge for me. I'm not above that. That's amazing. That'd be awesome. So I've been a business coach for 15 years. And I've helped many women build 6-figure businesses. There are women who've come into my business mastery circles who've built their businesses to multiple 6-figure level. And if I can also help a woman earn just a couple extra $1,000 a month to be a stay-at-home mom and have a relaxed schedule, that's fine as well. So I'm passionate about women who are driven, they want the 6-figure business, great. And I'm also passionate about helping women who just want a little more ease, a little more padding, a little more buffer so that they can spend more time with their families. I do work one-on-one with clients, but the power of offering business mastery circles for all of my clients are part of circles. Why? Why do I offer circles for every single one of my clients? In fact, I won't work one-on-one with women unless they're part of my circle. Why? Because it normalizes the psychology, the sensations in your body around pricing. When you are sitting with women who have $2,000 packages, $5,000 offerings, $10,000 offerings, $20,000 offerings, it starts to normalize pricing. It starts to normalize you standing in your value. It starts to create a culture of wealthy women healers who are able to fund the political candidates that we want to fund, who are able to step into positions of leadership that we want to step into, who are able to give to the philanthropic organizations that we know are important around education, around children, around health, around wellness, around elder care. And it also, when we sit with a circle of women, it allows us to create a unique business that is aligned with our unique higher calling, which every single one of you has a unique higher calling. So I want to give an example just to speak to the power of women coming together, just like we are today. Amanda LOS, one of my dear friends, she came into FemTalks, into the FemTalks community as a starving social worker. And now she has a 6-figure business as a medicine woman. She's an ordained medicine woman through several different lineages. And she, through the wisdom of normalizing her psychology around pricing, and charging what she was worth and seeing the incredible life-changing transformation of her clients again and again, which further empowered her to understand her worth and the worth of the ceremonies and programs that she offers, it allowed her to rise from being a starving social worker to now being a six-figure medicine woman. And let me just see real quick. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. How do I do the, I was wanting to share my screen. Oh, but I don't really know how to do it right now. Victoria's like, just go down. Oh, advanced sharing
Do you
option.
want instruction, Jessica?
Ooh, no, I think I don't know. I feel like I've done it before. Thanks for bearing with me. What do I push on? What do I click on?
There's an icon that says share. It's in green.
Oh, it's right in front of my face. Thank you.
But then you also need to click what you're sharing. You have to
Yeah. Thank you so much. I got it. We did it.
Yay!
Oh, okay, cool. So here we go. This is lovely Amanda. And I just wanted you to see her. Many of you know her, but I just wanted you to see her. So Amanda's awesome. I'm going to take a moment to go back to my notes. Here we go. I'm wondering, when you're just seeing Amanda's lovely Amanda, right? Are you seeing my notes?
Oh, no, we don't see your notes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for the power of women coming together. I'm not really a tech person, so I'm more like, let's get together and sit in front of my fireplace and be in circle together. So thank you so much for being so helpful. So among my clients, I was talking about having your unique higher calling. Among the women in my circles, among my clients, are medicine women like Amanda. There's a woman who offers hypnotherapy certifications. There's a woman who's an acupuncturist. There's a tantra teacher. So these are these very unique, different kinds of businesses with different business goals and different work that they do with clients. And all of these women have six-figure businesses. So another woman, before we get into our homework that I'm going to give to you around this $2,000 magic package idea, I wanted to share with you another story of Ursula, who I think might be on this call. Wave your hand, Ursula, if you're here. She came into FemTalks as a doula and a cranial sacral therapist, and now she's creating fundraisers for local doula midwife collectives who serve underserved women who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford midwifery and doula services. She's created a membership for her herbal tinctures. She's teaching and speaking all over the Bay Area. In fact, I mentioned Mevu earlier. Mevu invited her to be a guest teacher at Mevu's event for women. So I just want to say that circling back to community and working with just one coach, one business coach, and what I found when I was only doing one-on-one work, will never really provide the variety of possibilities that you might need to find the best solution every time. But a tribe of women, a circle of solution-oriented women, will hold all of the keys to all of the answers and highlight your right, unique path to success. So I hope that's clear. I'm going to speak a lot about collaboration and a lot about women coming together. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, and I'm going to give you some homework. So let's see. I'm going to spotlight myself. So my homework is not right now, but for you to sometime in the next week, you can write this down. I want you to vision your next bigger package or program. So if you're still just doing one-on-one, charging people by the hour or charging clients for just one session at a time, maybe you're simply visioning your $500 package or your $1,000 package. So start where you're at. Start with what feels doable in your body, your psychology, as you normalize with the support of other women or other people that you know, or just from getting yeses for your packages, then you can always vision your next bigger package. Vision your $2,000 package. Already have a $2,000 package? What does your $5,000 package look like? What does your $10,000 package look like? So I'm going to have you chat in the box, what would a $2,000 package have in it? You can go ahead and just type your ideas. Maybe it would have some Zoom calls like this. Maybe it would have live coming together. So if you have ideas, if you're starting to kind of get downloads about what your $2,000 package would look like, or for those of you that already have a $2,000 package, you spoke up earlier, maybe give us some ideas. What makes a juicy $2,000 package? Maybe you're designing a $5,000 package that includes a delicious weekend retreat. Maybe you have a $10,000 package that includes ceremonies, a certification, retreats, maybe an exotic destination retreat. So go ahead and type in some ideas, and we're just going to brainstorm here. We're going to brainstorm here. And then I'm going to get into this workshop, prosperous workshop piece. Lisa, your question was group? No, you could totally work one-on-one with people. What would your package include? Would it just be one-on-one sessions? Would there be some content or videos or meditations that maybe go with your one-on-one work, some homework? Reba asked, are these packages for one client at a time or for groups? Same question. So it could be a group program. Marnie says, a weekend retreat with ceremonies, speakers, amazing food, and indulgent body work. Ooh, that feels delicious. That feels so delicious. Lauren's been thinking of an $8,000 to $10,000 package for male sexual mastery. That's exciting. That sounds delicious. Yeah, these dudes need to learn some stuff, don't they? Beautiful. One-on-one homework, activations, resources, trainings, 2-hour jumpstart session. Ursula says, mine will have one-on-one sessions of somatic sex coaching, transformative body work, full moon hikes, dark moon Zoom circles, and my elixirs. Ursula was the powerful doula craniosacral worker I was talking about before, who now has this very multifaceted business, sexual empowerment for women, among many other things. Oh, cool. It's like a copy-paste. Achieving goals package. Beautiful. Oh, I love the brainstorm here. So the intention for this moment is for you to just start thinking outside of your own glass ceilings. We all have self-imposed glass ceilings. Gosh darn it. Darn those glass ceilings. And we can come together, and through this wisdom sharing, ideas, we will receive, you'll start to receive downloads when you go to bed tonight, when you dream tonight, when you wake up in the morning. Later this week, I want you to notice some of the ideas and downloads that you continue to receive around expanding past your glass ceilings. Yay! Beautiful. 3 months in person. Beautiful. 3 Zoom sessions, homework materials, family support, consulting. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Trauma recovery. So important. Thank you so much, ladies who shared. Thank you so much, women. Okay, let's take a moment to take a breath. I'm not going to unmute you, so we're just going to pull it in. Give yourself all the delicious oxygen your body needs. Each time you breathe deliberately, your hypothalamus sends a biochemical message to your body. To relax. I want you to just choose relaxation hormones right now. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and choose. Thank you, body. Relaxation hormones. Very nice. All right. So let's talk about events. That's why we're here. Event guidelines. I'm not going to go too deep into all of these because I want to give you these blueprints, these bigger chunks of content that I want to go deeper into. So my event guidelines. I would like for you to never, ever create a one-time workshop. Anytime you're creating a workshop, I want you to think about how in the future you might repeat that workshop. It might be that you repeat that workshop with a slightly different name. Obviously, you're going to learn and grow each time you do a workshop with deeper content or slightly different content, but that ultimately there is a lot of power in not recreating the wheel every single time you do an event. So I want you to think about seasonal workshops or annual workshops. Monthly meetups are a little bit of a different animal. I run a monthly meetup. That's not quite what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a more intentional workshop that takes a little bit more time. So no one-off workshops. Think about your workshop as something that can be repeatable. I also want to say no spamming people on Facebook or email telling them out of the blue to help spread the word about your upcoming workshop. I'll talk a lot about collaboration later. But if the message is out of the blue, I don't think that's okay. It's a little spammy. It carries a little bit of a feeling of neediness. Collaboration should be, I think, very intentional. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. So I know I always get messages from women who I barely know, and I don't even know they have a workshop coming up. There's been no prior conversation, just like, hey, Jessica, will you spread the word? So I just wanted to speak to that because that's kind of a thing I see in our industry, and I think it comes from a place of scarcity. So that's what we're trying to get out of. We're trying to get out of that scarcity. I also want you to think of your retreats. So when I think of a retreat, I'm thinking of like 2 or 3 days or more, usually in a removed location. So a retreat up north in Hawaii, whatever. A retreat, I want you to think of your retreats as part of a bigger program. So these packages that we were talking about before, these $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 packages, your retreats ideally are part of those programs, because I have watched so many women try to fill a retreat. It's like a $1,400 retreat or a $2,000 retreat or a $3,000 retreat that's only happening once or maybe once a year. And it is like pulling teeth to try to get people to go from zero to paying whatever thousands of dollars for a retreat that's only going to happen once. And then it's very hard. It's very hard. But if you have a program, let's say you have a $3,000 program and it includes a 2-day retreat up in Mendocino, then it's like you're filling your program, you're giving people bigger, deeper value, you're doing deeper transformation with people, and then you already know that your retreat is filled because it fills as your program fills. Like the participants of your program are going to be there at the retreat, and they're going to arrive already on the same page because they're already part of a community. So I'm just presencing that piece. I watch a lot of women struggle trying to fill retreats when they don't really have an email list, they don't really have a following, or maybe they do, but it's just like it distracts from the bigger programs that they're wanting to create. So how can we dovetail your retreats, if you are visioning a retreat, with one of your bigger programs and include it, fold it in as a bonus? And then also all the expenses are already taken care of because you've already received the money. So I'm not going to go too far down that, but I just want to presence that. The other guideline I want to give you is that in this context for this call today, I want you to think of your workshop, the intention of your workshop being an invitation for the participants to become a client. So speaking, which is anytime you get in front of an audience live or virtually, speaking is one of the most powerful ways for you to attract clients. So that includes when you're facilitating your workshop. It is a powerful way for people to feel you, to feel your energy, to feel your heart, to understand your intentions, to ride the emotional arc of doing exercises and dyad shares and hearing your wisdom and taking your wisdom in. And it's such a powerful opportunity to open the door for people to then become your clients. And there are salesy, slimy ways to do that, which is not what we're going to talk about today. There are very gentle ways to do that, which we are going to talk about today. And then the final guideline I want to give you before I give you these, I'm actually going to give you 3 profitable workshop models that you can repeat again and again. The final guideline is to please stop relying only on ticket sales from your workshop. So that's my story that I mentioned before of being on food stamps because I was creating these events and I was only charging, you know, whatever ticket sales, small little ticket sales at the door, that I don't see that working for women, when that's like you're putting all your eggs in that one basket, and there's so many baskets that you can set around your workshops. So please stop relying only on ticket sales when creating your workshops. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 profitable workshop models that you can repeat again and again. I'm going to take a sip of water, so I want to invite you to do the same. Okay, I'm going to take a drink of my tea as well. Oh, let's see. J Love says, can you state them again quickly, the guidelines? Yeah, I'll totally do that for you. So no one-time workshops. When you're creating your workshops, have in mind that these are workshops that you could repeat again and again. No spamming people to spread the word about your events. Collaboration, I think, takes a little more intentionality, and we'll be talking about that. If you do big retreats, like a retreat to Hawaii or a retreat to Pescadero, ideally those are part of a bigger program. It's fine. Like, let's see. Lisa says that she has a retreat coming up in May. That's okay. That's totally fine. And to be thinking about maybe for 2020, a way to weave that retreat into a bigger program. So it's just an invitation. Let's see, the last 2 guidelines in my recap here are that I want you to think today, when we talk about these 3 profitable workshop models, that your intention for your workshop is like a gateway or a pathway to people working deeper with you. It is such a way to create intimacy and trust with a group of people all in a room together. That is such a great opportunity. I'm about to burp. Such a great opportunity to then invite them into a deeper journey with you as a client. And that's where your packages come in. And then the final guideline was, please stop relying only on ticket sales for your workshop. There are other ways to make money with your workshops, and we'll talk about some of those today. So, switching gears, 3 profitable workshop models that you can repeat again and again, dear sisters. So take notes if you need to. The first model is a 7-figure model. It is probably not for most of the women on this call. There's a few of you, I think, that can start stepping into this model. But I just want to presence it because we've all witnessed this model before. So the 7-figure model, I think of as like Charlotte Jacobson, Jesse Corin, Bill Barron, Katarina Rando, Penelope Jane Cruz, who used to also be called PJ Van Hull. Let's see, Mark and Shannon Granger. These are all people that have they're 7-figure mavens, and also dear friends. I love them. And they all have a 3-day live event. That's kind of the standard, like a 2-day, sometimes 5-day, but usually it's a 3-day live event. So this is the 7-figure model. What they'll do is they'll invite, 100, 200, 300, 500 people to attend these events. So they're usually in a big hotel room with fluorescent lights, which I don't like. I'm not a fluorescent lights kind of girl. But what the intention of the program, of the 3-day live event, is to give people deep dive into intimacy and trust, to give them some tools, and then at some point about midway in that 3-day event, they will sell right there at the event $5,000 to $20,000 packages. So what works about this model is that they will sometimes make 6 figures to 7 figures in 3 days at the event. So that's kind of cool. But what doesn't work about this model is that you really need I think 50 to 100 people or more to attend to be able to generate the energy you need to sell packages at that level. It feels like a cattle call to me. I thrive in more intimate settings. Like I said earlier, I like to sit at the fireplace with the women in my business mastery circle and just, it's like a small group of us just diving in and just really giving each other focus and presence. That's nourishing to me. You need to hire an event manager to manage all of the stuff that needs to happen while you're on stage. You need a JV manager, which is a partnership manager. You have lots of overhead because it's a 3-day event, probably in a conference space. So you have the overhead of the rental. You need to hire a team to run registrations, sales, cleanup, etc. And these events sometimes themselves cost 6 figures just to produce. That'd be crazy. That is crazy. And you have to be on for 3 days. Oh, I can't even imagine. I'm too much of you don't maybe know it in this moment because I'm being loud and gregarious, but I'm actually an introvert. I need lots of inward time. The other downfall of the 3-day live event is that even though you make all these sales right there at the event, you get lots of cancellations, lots of reversed credit card charges, because the people that bought those $5,000 to $20,000 programs did it in a pressured environment. And so I think this 3-day live event model, this 7-figure model, it can feel a little masculine sometimes. So let's just take a moment to take a breath. We've all been to those weekends, so I know you know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and just take a breath. Shake anything that wants to be shaked, because that's not what we're talking about. Is the holistic feminine model number 1 and holistic feminine model number 2, which is what we're switching gears to now. So let's talk about the holistic feminine model number 1. Holistic feminine model number 1 is we're gonna wave a magic wand together. Those of you that are my clients who are on the call, you have heard me say this to you before, so it might be that you're able to take it in on a deeper level. Some of you are hearing this for the first time, so take notes. Enjoy the ride. So you're gonna wave a magic wand. I want you to imagine that you are creating a half-day or 1-day workshop. In this half-day or 1-day workshop, now it could be longer, so just you can apply if you have a longer workshop, 2-day or 3-day, you can apply this to that, but just because for ease and restfulness, let's say it's a half-day or 1-day workshop, whatever feels most comfortable for you. In this workshop, I want you to imagine that there are 30 people in this workshop. The reason I use the number 30 is because most of us live in the Bay Area. We've all been to workshops where there are about 30 people present. Some of us have been to smaller workshops, some of us have been to bigger workshops, but I think it's safe to say we've all been to some kind of workshop or gathering where there are about 30 people. It's an easy number, it's an easy amount of people to imagine, and it's an easy number to work with because we're actually going to do some magical math. So during this half-day or 1-day workshop, these 30 bright, brilliant attendees, and I'll talk a little bit later how you get those 30 people there. We'll talk about that later. But just imagine those 30 bright, brilliant attendees are there at your workshop, and in this workshop, they laugh with you, they cry with you, they do some exercises, maybe some movement, they connect with each other, they connect with you, they do some excavation of their blocks or their shadows, so they're doing some work while they're there, and ultimately they are experiencing the ingredients of trust and intimacy with you. Towards the end of this workshop, you're going to, this is model number 1, you're going to tell them about your juicy program. Remember a few moments ago we were visioning our $500, $2,000, $10,000 package? You're going to tell them about your program. You're not going to sell it right there. You're just going to tell them, here's the delicious name of my program. Here's what people experience when they work with me. Here's what you're going to get out of the program. And you're going to have them fill out a brief application, or maybe it's like a little registration form, a little brief application. And right then and there at the event, you're going to have them schedule a phone call with you, like a connection call. You might call it like an intake call or an enrollment call. So they're going to schedule that call right then and there. They're like, yes, this sounds delicious. I want to find out more. They fill out the application, which gives you good information about them. It also has them, because they're doing the physical act of filling it out, it anchors the experience of, yes, I'm curious. Yes, I might want this into their body. And what you'll find is that after the workshop, you have these phone calls. Usually when it's your workshop, you're the teacher. They're there because of the topic that you named the workshop. There are 30 people in the room. Usually about 50 to 75% of the people will sign up for that phone call to find out about your juicy program. So let's say 50% of the people say, yes, I want to find out about your program. So that's 15 people. Now that's a lot of phone conversations, so we'll handle that in a moment. 15 people are like, yes, that sounds awesome. I want to find out more, and they schedule a call. You hop on the phone with those people. You connect with your heart. You find out what they're creating. You see if they're a fit for your program. You're weaving in even more ingredients of trust and intimacy. And they're having an experience of your leadership because you're leading the call. Usually, if there's connection and if it's the right fit, it's not going to be a right fit for everybody. Of those 15 people that you had that phone call with, usually about 50 to 75% will say, yes, here's my credit card. I want to sign up for your package. And you can offer payment plans. You can offer deposits. You can make it easy for them to say yes. So those 15 people that you just had a heart-centered phone call with, one-on-one, let's say 10 of those people say yes. 10 of those people are like, yes, I'm a yes, I want to work with you. If what you are offering is a $2,000 package, and those 10 people have said yes to your $2,000 package, that means that you've just made $20,000 with this one workshop. Yes, there were some phone calls. I'm going to address some concerns in a little bit. What if you have a package that's $3,000 and you get those 10 yeses? That's $30,000. I know there are women on this call who were mentioning they have packages that are $8,000 to $10,000. What if you got those 10 yeses from that one workshop? 30 people attend. Half of those people say, I want to find out more. And about 75% of those people feel the heart connection. They feel the yes. They say yes. If you've got an $8,000 package, that's $80,000 from that one workshop. Now, what if you repeat this workshop seasonally? Every 3 or 4 months, you repeat this workshop. It gives you plenty of time to fill the workshop, plenty of time to fine-tune and refine. Well, that's a 6-figure business right there, just from showing up a few days out of the year and then putting your attention on heart connection with people who are already pretty much a yes, and then putting your attention on your clients who are in the program. I didn't mention earlier that I have a business in the 6 figures. I only work 3 days a week. So I am not running around like a chicken with my head cut off to try to get clients or to try to grow my business. I really am like the greatest stand for every single woman here building a leveraged business, building a business that is nourishing, that has plenty of space. So I'm going to open it. Abiola says, easy peasy, booyah. Awesome. Thanks, Abiola. I love that. We can have fun with this. I'm going to put this back on our little collage view because I want to see all your faces. What I'd like for you to do is to put in the chat box if this resonates with you or what specifically resonates with you. And then I'm going to address some concerns in a moment. Some of the pieces that you might be like, So, but let's focus on what of this first model, I'm going to give you another model, what of this holistic feminine model, number one, resonates with you? Where did you kind of go, ooh, oh, okay, cool. Connection and leverage. Thanks, Marnie. The leverage aspect really resonates. Thanks, Marcia. Lisa says, yes, love it. Margot, 30 is nice. Yes, absolutely. Repeating it all resonates. Gorgeous. Intimacy, trust resonates strongly with me. One-on-one connections in a group. Gorgeous. Appreciate the exposure to the idea. Awesome. Heart connection, intimacy. That is such important ingredients. So let's say I'm going to go into steeping in the possibility. Thanks, Valerie. I think you sent that to me privately, Valerie. I'm going to talk about concerns. What if you create one of these workshops and there's only 10 or 15 people in the room? That happens. We've all been to workshops that are more intimate. Maybe you want a more intimate workshop. Jan Robinson, who's one of my delicious ladies in my business mastery circle, I'll talk about her a little bit more later. She's also a really wonderful success story, really inspiring. She did a workshop recently where she only wanted 12 women. She wanted the intimacy. So what if you did a workshop like this and there were fewer women? Or maybe like fewer women said yes, maybe it's your first time, you forget some parts, you know. Would adding $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to your annual income be worth the journey? So this is something that may take a little refinement, may take some fine tuning, but I've also watched women just knock it out of the park. So awesome, great, nice and clear. Thank you, Sia, that's important. I was actually going to ask, is this clear? So thank you. Let's address some concerns. We didn't talk about how you're going to fill this workshop. That's a huge, that could be a 2-hour masterclass by itself. I am going to give you, we're going to talk about filling the workshop in a bit. So just to assuage your concerns there. The other concern is that in this first model, you're not really making any money the day of the event. There are ticket sales. Obviously, we want women to attend this workshop and to pay so that they have a little bit of skin in the game. And I personally feel like for an intro workshop, which is this half-day, full-day workshop, if the intention of this workshop is to then invite them into a bigger program in this gentle way that offers connection and intimacy, then I think it's all about just get a bunch of awesome people in the room. Keep the ticket sales low. I would say anywhere from $37 to $97. You don't have to use the 7, but just industry standard. It's all about just get those 30 people in the room, get those 20 people in the room, get those 50 people in the room, okay? So keep the ticket sales low, but the concern is, well, then I'm not making any money the day of other than ticket sales. So I'm going to give you another model in a moment that actually gives you more money the day of without being salesy or slimy. The other concern is there's so many calls, so many phone calls, right? You've got these 15 women or people who are like, yes, I want to find out more, and then you've got those 15 calls. So as a coach, as a business coach, part of my job is to help women create a leveraged business model. Remember I said I only work 3 days a week? I only work 3, sometimes 4, very part-time days a week. I also take about 1 month off every year. I have a robust client load. Women come back into my circles again and again and again. And it's because I have a leveraged business model. So one example, and some of you asked about this, so I'm glad I get an opportunity to talk about this. One example of a leveraged business model, one part of a leveraged business, is offering a group program. You can still do one-on-one work with people who are in your group. I do one-on-one work with all of my clients. All the women in my business mastery circles, they get one-on-one sessions with me. But there is so much value that I was talking about earlier about creating community around the transformational work that you do. It allows your clients to get so much value out of the group, out of the maybe it's circles or Zoom calls or group coming together and masterminding or retreats. They get so much value out of that they generate the content, they generate the transformation, and it allows you to do fewer one-on-one client sessions. They actually get more value because of the community, and it really frees up your schedule a lot as well. So I want to just plant that seed for those of you that only do one-on-one work. There is incredible value in those people getting that one-on-one attention. And there's incredible value in them feeling the support of each other, people who are going through a similar transformational arc with one another. Very, very powerful. And we've all been part of circles. We've all been part of groups. We've all gone through certification programs. We've gone through, even college, where we are with our cohorts. And there's something very powerful about that. J Love says that if you repeat the same workshop, how do you feel again and again? Oh, we're going to talk about filling the workshop. I haven't gotten there. That was one of the concerns about how do we fill the workshop? So I just wanted to say. And we're also going to open it up for questions a little bit later. So pause your cue, J Love. So let's go ahead and talk about the holistic feminine model number 2. So we've talked about the 7-figure model, which has its pros and cons. Oops. We talked about I'm going to type this in here for you, holistic feminine model number 1. And we're going to talk about the holistic feminine model number 2. There we go. I'm going to take another sip of water because it's warm in here, is what it is. Okay. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for your patience. Okay, holistic feminine model number 2. This is going to have a lot of similarity to the holistic number 1, but there's some differences. And you'll find that you probably in this moment prefer one over the other. We'll talk about the pros and cons of each, or how we'll kind of compare the two in a moment as well. So in this one, we're going to wave our magic wand. So you can take out your magic wand and wave it. Thank you. So same thing. We're going to create a half-day or one-day workshop. During this workshop, we're going to work with that same 30 people just because it's easy. Excuse me. During this workshop, they come together, they laugh with you, they cry with you, they do excavation of their blocks, they do dyad shares and exercises, they hear your wisdom, there's giving and receiving, you are cultivating the ingredients, you are bringing in the ingredients of trust and intimacy with you and establishing yourself as the expert. Towards the end of this half-day or one-day workshop, you are going to tell them about a juicy stepping stone program. So this is not your big $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 program. This is what I call a stepping stone program. If it's your very first time offering it, I personally think that a stepping stone program should be priced anywhere between $200 and $500. If you're very experienced, like you know how to get people in your stepping stone program, you've been doing it for a long time, you can charge more than that for sure. I have a client, Julia Beecham, who has started out just charging $200 to $500 for her stepping stone program. Now she charges $1,000 for her stepping stone program during her one-day events, or I guess her half-day workshops. So stepping stone program. Towards the end of the workshop, you're going to tell them about your juicy stepping stone program. You're going to give it a juicy name. You're going to talk about what your clients are going to get from this program, what they're going to learn. And right there at the event, you're going to have them fill out a registration form, if they're a yes, and actually give you their credit card information right then and there. So this is something that they're actually paying for the day of the event. Maybe you have a payment option. Maybe they can break it up into 2 payments or 3 payments to make it easy to say yes. And you're going to throw in a one-on-one session with you as a bonus. So this stepping stone program is probably just like 3 Zoom circles, or maybe it's a 4-week little mini program. So this is not a long, like 6-week, 12-week thing. This is just a bite-sized 3-circle, 4-circle experience. It could be a small one-on-one package if that's what you feel comfortable with, but in alignment with my intention that you all have some kind of juicy group program at some point soon, I'm gonna say that it's 3 or 4 circles, Zoom circles or live circles, if that's what you really want. These people, let's say 15 people say yes, so that's awesome. I actually don't have my math worked out for this one, so if someone can work out what 15 times 500 is, that would be great. You can just put it in the chat box. These 15 awesome people, brilliant people, attend your stepping stone program. Maybe it's 3 weeks of Zoom circles or a 4-week little program. Now the program obviously doesn't solve all their problems, but it helps to educate them to make some important distinctions. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a holistic health coach. Oh, awesome, $7,500. So you've made $7,500 the day of your event. That's awesome. I'd like to make $7,500 in one day. That's amazing. Type in, if you're a here to making $7,500 in one day, doing what you love. Awesome. Okay, great. A flood of yeses. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a holistic health coach. We all know, everyone on this call, we were talking about health earlier. It can take weeks or even months to balance the system in terms of autoimmune disease or even things like migraines. We know that takes some time to untangle. But your stepping stone course, you can actually educate people about some major foods that they might want to avoid. You can educate them about the repercussions of chronic inflammation. You could teach them, tell some inspiring client stories so that they are existing in a place of hope and what's possible for them around their healing. And you can also maybe do a little bit of work, a little excavation around food addictions, if they're maybe ingesting too much sugar or gluten or whatever that is. But ultimately, the intention for the Stepping Stone program is to train your clients to be self-aware clients, to train this group of people who've said yes to your Stepping Stone program to be self-aware clients who are then able and willing to do the deeper work with you. So then in your bonus one-on-one session with them, remember I said you offer the Stepping Stone program, it's $200 to $500. They do some group work with you, you're educating them, and you bonus in a one-on-one session. In your bonus one-on-one session with them, then you can invite them into your deep dive package, your $2,000 package, your $5,000 package, your $10,000 package. So I'm going to give you some distinctions between the feminine model number 1 and feminine model number 2. The first model, feminine model number 1, just gets people right into your deep dive program. You're like, workshop, boom. Want to be part of my program? Boom. Hop on the phone with me? Boom. So even though you're not making as much money right there the day of your workshop or the weekend of your workshop, ultimately you are in action, dropping into intimacy with people, dropping in again with intimacy with people on the phone, building trust, and right away just getting people into your bigger program. The second model, holistic feminine model number 2, is a slightly longer journey. You're making more money right there at the workshop by selling the Stepping Stone program. You're training a group of people to be good clients, to have certain distinctions and certain knowledge so that when you do work with them in your bigger package, they get even more out of it. But it will add about an extra month It will be about an extra month if it's a 4-week program, for example. Your Stepping Stone program is a 4-week program. It'll be an extra month before you start funneling those people into your bigger package. So it's a little more drawn out, but some of you, depending on the work you do with clients, may find that it's worth drawing that out, having a little bit of a longer journey. So neither of these is better than the other. They're just different. One you're selling at the event in model number 2. One you're not selling at the event, but you're inviting them into intimacy on the phone with you. Selling from stage in your workshop, asking for money, that is a whole skill set. That is an entire skill set. I recently went to, excuse me, a 2-day retreat with Charlotte and Jesse from Thrive. I've been business partners with them for many years, and they have a retreat with their partners once a year. And these are like, I'm starting to lose, my voice is changing. I'm going through puberty with you. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm going to keep going. When I'm at this retreat, I'm surrounded by people who have 6-figure businesses, 7-figure businesses, 8-figure conscious entrepreneurs. For example, the man, I forget his name, who runs, oh gosh darn it, what is it called? Oh, it's the Shift Network. Like, he was there, like all these like really incredible, inspiring entrepreneurs were there. And it was interesting because the last few years I've gone, what I've noticed that there is always masterminding and resource sharing around selling from the stage, which is the act of being in your workshop and asking for money right then and there. And what I realized that these entrepreneurs who are playing it, I'm a small fish, they're playing way ahead of me in terms of the annual money that they're making, at least, that they are still in the conversation of how to better, more skillfully, more with heart, sell from the stage. So I just wanted to say, like, selling from the stage, how do you ask for money at your workshops? That is something we put a lot of focus on in my business mastery circles. And it's a conversation that never goes away. It's like meditation or yoga. Go into meditation, you go into yoga practice, you're never fully mastering that practice. It is a practice. It is a lifelong journey. Selling from the stage, asking for money right there at your event is a practice. It's an ongoing practice. So I just want to presence that. Also a skill set, the enrollment call. What is it that you say when you're on the phone with that client who's like, I'm interested? What do you say? What do you not say to that person? The enrollment call, that phone call, is also a skill set. It's an art, the art of enrollment. So both models, these holistic models, holistic feminine models, both work really well for women in my business mastery circles. Remember that I said that I help women build 6-figure businesses, but I also help women earn just who want some, to just stay home with their kids and have a relaxed schedule. I also help women who their goal might just to be earn a couple extra $1,000 a month. Both of these models are relaxed and they work really, really well for women who have goals on either side of that spectrum. I wanted to talk a little bit about Jan Robinson. I don't have her testimonial queued up here. I wanted to have a picture of her here. I don't have that queued up. When I first met her almost 10 years ago, she was already a renowned Tantra teacher. She spoke at Femme Talks back a million years ago, and it was like women were in the audience that night because of her. And I've only ever heard people say how amazing Jan is in her tantric teachings. Even though she was renowned, had this incredible reputation, she was struggling, relying on ticket sales for her events. She actually had to have another job on the side to support her Tantra teaching practice. But she started to produce these, turn a little more light. She started to produce these intro events, these half-day and one-day workshops that I was telling you about. And each time, the last few workshops that she's done over the last year, 50% of the participants have signed up for her programs. So now Jan has created a beautiful 6-month program for women. This is her big package that includes a weekend retreat at a gorgeous, opulent Airbnb in the woods. I mean, to go from having a job to support her passion to now creating this beautiful program. And this is all just from being out there speaking, being out there, you know, as a teacher, as she already was, and then weaving in these intro events, these introductory workshops, these half-day and one-day workshops. So this stuff really, really works. So in a bit, I'm going to talk about some of the skills and tools you must have in place in order to make these models work. I'm also going to talk about how to fill your workshops. So don't worry, I'm going to talk about that. At the end of the call, we're going to go into Q&A. I'm going to give you a couple bonuses about how to invite thousands of people to your Facebook event in just a few minutes, easily, effortlessly. And I'm going to talk about the key ingredient that you must add to your workshop so that people want to hire you. They want your deeper packages. So do I need to do a recap of all 3 models, or do you feel like this was clear? Anyone who's like, I need a recap? No. Marnie says no. Clear. Awesome. Ah, awesome. Fantastic. Great. I'm just taking a sip of tea for those of you that can't see me. Okay. I'm going to unmute you again. Let's take a breath together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you so much for staying in your body, staying with me, staying present with me. You know, it's hard to be in our chairs. Let's take a moment to stand up and do a little stretch. If you want to stand up and stretch with me, go ahead and stand up and stretch. In some ways, we're all just big children, you know. And I know a lot of you are like yogis and dancers and somatic therapists, embodiment coaches, so I know that you get it. All right. Here we go, my darlings. Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, I have to mute you again. Okay, so let's talk about how do we fill these half-day or one-day intro workshops. So I'm going to talk about the #1 way that wealthy light workers fill their workshops that you can also immediately start doing. So we're going to do an exercise. I want you to actually literally pull out your journal or a piece of paper or have a place to type. And I want you to we're just going to take a minute and then you can give yourself longer later to continue this exercise. So just a minute of quiet, to make a list of names of people that you already know, and the criteria is that they also know who you are, and they also like who you are. So these are not your frenemies. I know none of you have frenemies. I'm kind of being silly. But these are people who know and like you. Make a list of people with names who know and like you, who are also entrepreneurs, and extra bonus points if they have an email list. Like maybe you receive their newsletters, or you just assume they have a list. They don't have to have a list, but I want you to take a moment to just jot down the first names that come to you, people that you know, like, and trust, that know, like, and trust you. I wish I could show you what my dog is doing right now. And go ahead and just write those down. Just make a list. That's all you're doing, is making a list. And I'm just going to pause for a moment. Okay, so what you'll notice is that over the next week or so, other names are going to come into your consciousness. You're going to be like, oh, right, Judy. Oh, right, I totally forgot about Robert. Oh, right, there's that person that I went through my certification with. Let me reach out to my teacher and see if she can connect us. So just allow the openness for more names to be added to this list. Every time you go to a networking event, I'll share with you number one networking secret. Number one networking secret is that when you go out networking, never network for clients. When you go out networking, network for collaborators, network for people who have email lists, community leaders. Because here's what you're going to do. You have your list, and I will call this your list of collaborators or possible collaborators. 2 to 3 months, ideally, if I could wave a magic wand, 2 to 3 months before your workshop, before your half-day, one-day workshop, you are going to call, text, or email, whatever. If you're a text person, text. If you're a call person, call. If you're an email person, email. You're going to call, text, or email some of the people on your list of collaborators that you just made, and you're going to say, hey, how can we play? I would love to schedule a phone conversation with you or take you out to tea. And I want to hear all about what you're creating. I'll tell you what I'm creating. I have a really exciting workshop coming up, but I'll tell you more later. Let's have a virtual tea together. Let's hop on the phone and see how we might support each other this year. And that's it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to spam them. Just let's have a phone conversation. Let's have tea together. During that phone conversation, you're going to be curious. You're going to hear about what they're creating. You're going to be like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's exciting. May I tell you what I'm creating? And take some time to tell about your upcoming workshop, the awesome name, maybe the date if you have the date, the cool things that clients are going to experience when they attend your workshop. And you're going to ask them if you can enter into a win-win cross-promotion relationship, which basically means, hey, would you send an email out to your email list about my workshop? And in return, I will send an email to my email list about your workshop. Or maybe there's some other trade that you can come up with. Will you share about my event to your email list, and I will give you a free pass to the event. You can bring a friend, and I will also share your upcoming thing on Facebook or whatever. So this is for you, the two of you, to decide what feels like a win-win. But ultimately, anytime you create a workshop, a half-day or one-day workshop, I want you to have at least 5 people, ideally they have email lists, who have wholeheartedly agreed well ahead of time, 2 to 3 months ahead of time, to promote your workshop to their email lists. Now let's talk about our 7-figure sisters. I have some 7-figure sisters who are also mentors. I also have clients. I have clients and colleagues who have multiple 6-figure and 7-figure businesses. How did they get there? How do they fill their events? Some of them have 20, 50, 100, 150 people promoting every single one of their events. I'm just asking you to have 5. So when Jesse and Charla do their big summits, their 3-day live events, when Mark and Shannon Granger, Bill Barron do their big 3-day live events, they've got dozens of people promoting that event. That's how they get 100 people, 300 people, 500 people in the room. We don't need all that. We already talked about how we don't need that particular 3-day live event model. But there's a reason that 60 to 80 women attend my monthly meetups every single month for almost 10 years. It is because I'm not promoting the events by myself. I always have 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 other women, because I have women, it's a women's community, women promoting my events, and it's a different team of women every single month. And that is how over almost 10 years, I fill my event every single time. Collaboration is the #1 linchpin in most women's businesses. You're like, I'm just going to post it on Facebook. I'm just going to send an email to my email list. And that may work here and there, but consistently, someone asked about consistency, to consistently fill your workshops and to trust that there will be 20, 30, 50 people there every single time without you hardly having to lift a finger. That is through relationship building with collaboration partners, that you are creating partnerships with people that you know, like, and trust, and you're creating win-win cross-promotion relationships. This is also a really great way to get your book to the bestseller list. So we've got women, I have women in my business mastery programs who are writing and publishing books. We give them support to do that. And they, on their, bestseller promotion day, their Amazon bestseller day, that's one example, they'll have a team of like 20 or 30 people promoting their book to their email lists. There are women in my circles who have email lists of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 subscribers. Imagine if one of those women sent an email out to her list of thousands of subscribers about your workshop. So I'm just giving you some incentive when you're out there networking. Be networking with other community leaders. Be networking with people who have lists and who are open to collaboration and open and understand the value of cross promotion. Because if it works for my, our millionaire mentors, and that's their main marketing strategy, beyond Facebook ads, beyond, I don't even know what other example, like that is how they're filling their events. And nobody teaches this stuff. It's crazy. So I'm going to give you another little story here about Brianna Kavanaugh, and I'm going to go ahead and share her lovely face with you. So this is Brianna. And then I'm going to open up for questions pretty soon here. So Brianna, when she came into the FemTalks community about almost 10 years ago, she was a starving single mom on food stamps. She eventually built a multiple six-figure business. So she now has a multiple six-figure business helping women create prosperity and cleaning up their bookkeeping. So she took her shadow and her pain point of being a single mom on food stamps and turning that into a business, greatly helping other women. Recently, she did a very successful program launch. And she had dozens of other people, including me, promoting that launch, and she knocked it out of the park. She made thousands and thousands of dollars, got new clients. She'll be a self-made millionaire in the next few years. So and she really, just incredible. I feel very inspired by her story. So let me come back to you. Hello, I'm getting a little shiny, little sheen. So I'm going to give you a bonus right here. Another way to fill your workshops, another powerful way to fill your workshops, through speaking gigs. The women who speak at FemTalks often make thousands of dollars. I'll give you the example of Susan Kirby. Here, I'll show you her beautiful face. So Susan gave her very first Speak to Sell talk at FemTalks. And what she did is she spoke at FemTalks. It's just a 30-minute talk. She sold her stepping stone program for $197. She got about 20 signups. Included in that package was a ticket to her live event. So those women went to her live event. She basically filled her live event. And 10 of those women ended up signing up for her $6,000 program. So from that one speaking gig, speaking at FemTalk, she made $60,000 in sales. So Susan is incredible. She's such a light. She's such an incredible light worker. But I wanted to share that story with you. So let's go ahead and open up to some of the business structures that you must have in place in order for all of this to work. So I'm going to list some things that we've covered and some things that we haven't covered that must be in place in order to make all of this work. Because some of you are going to go out there and you're going to mimic this workshop model without some of the foundational building bricks in place first. And you're not going to get the number of people into your workshops that you need. You're not going to get the number of signups and sales that you need to make this profitable and sustainable. So let's talk about what you need to have in place. You need to have a deep dive program, which we've talked about. You need to have a deep dive program designed that people can step into as a natural next step after your workshop, whether that's your stepping stone program or your bigger package. You need to have a solid team of cheerleaders, or what I will call cross-promotion partners, who've agreed to promote your workshop well ahead of time. They've agreed well ahead of time to promote your workshop, ideally by sending a solo email to their email lists, in addition to any Facebook posts or Instagram, etc., which means you need to be connected to a bunch of people who have email lists, who have a following. One of the most valuable parts of my business mastery circles are our networking lunches. Every month we come together, connecting over food, over lunch. Imagine standing in front of a group of women, announcing your upcoming workshop to a group of women who are there for the sole purpose of collaborating with you. Women who have email lists of $2,000, $10,000, $50,000. Imagine if they promote your workshop to their lists. Yes, you can add $30,000 to $60,000 or more to your annual income just through tribal marketing, just through collaboration. So that's definitely a huge focus in my business mastery circles, is focusing on collaboration. I have an entire suite of blueprints and how-tos specifically around tribal marketing. You also get to connect with speaking gigs through these women. These are women who are speaking all over the Bay Area. So start connecting with people who you can collaborate with in a big way. You need to have your, oh, Dawn Angel said those luncheons are great. Yeah, Dawn, I love having lunch with you at the lunches. Yay. You need to have your pricing dialed in, okay? So that everything in your business just feels like a natural progression, and you need to be energetically aligned with your pricing. So there might be some work that you need to do around standing in your value, around normalizing being a prosperous light worker, which is part of the power of coming together in community like this, or coming together in a mastermind, because you are sitting live in a circle or virtually in a circle in limbic resonance with women who are maybe a couple steps ahead of you, normalizing prosperity into your consciousness, into your energy, into your mind, body, being. You need to have your enrollment call dialed in. This is the one-on-one call we talked about. This is the intake call. What do you say? What do you not say to potential clients? A lot of people on enrollment calls do way too much of the talking instead of weaving in curiosity. There's a specific flow to the enrollment call. One of the things I offer to my clients is a step-by-step blueprint for how to have your enrollment conversation, the art of enrollment blueprint, and also a masterclass called How Amanda Sells Her $10,000 Packages. That is step-by-step, what you say, what you don't say, the questions, kinds of questions that you ask. Very powerful. And then you also need to have your offer dialed in. And the offer is that moment, the way when you're in your workshop, you invite people into your stepping stone program, the way that you talk about your program so that they are pulling out their credit card right there and then in order to pay for your program. But there's also an art to inviting people to have an intake call with you. So what do you say right there in front of the room to stay connected, to maintain intimacy and trust, to stand in your value, to communicate what you're offering, to inspire people to understand that their investment is valuable? So I also give my clients a blueprint to make their irresistible offer. What are the key ingredients that must be there to inspire your potential clients to say yes? So let's just take a moment to take a breath together. And I want you to take a moment to type into the chat box which skills, I want you to be a little vulnerable here, which skills that I just spoke about above, that I just covered, which skills you realize that you know you might need to learn or refine. Everything that we talked about having a deep dive program, solid team of cheerleaders, having your pricing dialed in, your enrollment dialed in, your offer dialed in, speaking in public. Nancy says standing in my value. Don Angel says the enrollment call. Valerie says being fully in my value. So important for women. That's a big conversation for women. Beautiful. Cheerleaders, team and enrollment. Beautiful. Normalizing prosperity. Deep dive program dialed in. How to invite people to learn more in a way that they're clear that it's there to serve them. Enrollment call help. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for vulnerably sharing, because I know sometimes exposing these places that we need support around, that we need help around, is like, oh, it's great to presence, it's clarifying, and I appreciate you sharing that with this group of women here. So thank you so much. Oh, let's see, Marnie says, what Zoom program is this? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but when we open it up for Q&A in a moment, Marnie, feel free to elaborate on that question. Okay, we're about to open it up for Q&A. We're about to talk about how to invite thousands of people to your Facebook event in a few minutes, the number one ingredient you must add to your workshop so people want to hire you and do deeper work with you. Before we go there, I do have an invitation to you. I'm using this call as a model for exactly what I'm talking about. Told you that I'm not selling on this call, but I have something very special for you. I have solutions for you. So I'm going to paint a beautiful picture of your future, a future that we can all be a yes to. And I painted this earlier. I want to presence it again. I want you to drop in and feel this. A future where you are rocking it. It is easy to live in the Bay Area. It's easy to thrive here. A future where you feel nourished and cared for by your business. You feel true energetic nourishment by your workshop. You feel true energetic nourishment from your clients because the money/effort/time exchange is balanced. Perhaps you have a support of a tribe of women who are dedicated to your work getting out into the world. You're experiencing ease in filling your workshops and programs. You have a relaxed, spacious schedule that allows for downtime, family time, and it's also profitable. And you are consistently receiving treasure maps to turn your ideas into money-making structures. And you have stopped trying to fill your events and programs all alone. You have stopped trying to build your business all alone. You've stopped looping on problems that won't even matter in the long run. You've stopped obsessing with your website because you can build a 6-figure business without a website. You've stopped trying to make money with only ticket sales. So my invitation for you is simple. I would like to invite you to hop on the phone with me, one-on-one, no pressure, complimentary, no cost, to find out more about working with me as your business coach and also joining my business mastery circles for women lightworkers. No pressure. I'm just going to give you all the information that you need to join with us. You'll also experiencing me taking you through an enrollment call. And all you have to do is click this link and schedule our connection call right now. This link is going to go away. So let me do that again. This link is going to go away when our call ends. But this is for you if you want to double or measurably grow your business this year with holistic feminine systems. To find out more about joining my affordable transformational business mastery circles, I have different tiers, so I'll be telling you about those. What have you got to lose? Click the link, book right now. This invitation is going away when we end the call. What you will learn in the Business Mastery Circle, you'll learn some last-minute secrets to get butts in seats anytime you're in an event crunch. We've all had those moments where we have an event, coming up in a few days and we don't quite have the attendance that we want. There are some last-minute things that you can do. You're going to learn out-of-the-box ways to make money at the event. There's actually other ways to also make money at your event. There's many different income streams around events that we didn't talk about today. We're going to talk about how do you make your offers. You're going to learn about registration forms. You're going to learn about credit card processing. You're going to get the art of enrollment blueprint so that you can sell your $2,000, $10,000, $20,000 packages. You're going to get master classes around how to create exotic destination retreats for those of you that want to do Hawaii, Bali, Thailand, those juicy, delicious destinations. How to offer VIP programs. You also get access to several, like 2 to 3 mastermind circles every month. I have live circles in my home. I also have Zoom circles for those of you that can't make it to my home. I live in the East Bay. We're going to give you pricing structures to structure your more higher end packages for those of you that are ready for that. How do you work deeper with clients? How do you elevate your lifestyle by offering higher end packages? And the most valuable part of the circles is the networking lunches, like I was saying. That you're networking with women who have email lists, who want to connect you with speaking opportunities, who want to promote your workshops, and they want their workshops promoted as well, and learning how to gracefully do that. I'm also going to give you resources for those of you that are writing and publishing your book, or you have a book in you. Lots of resources. A lot of women who've gone through my programs have written and published books, sometimes multiple books, just in the cocoon of the program. So we'll give you support around that, and master classes and resources around that. So you know step by step the process of writing, publishing, and marketing your book. We're going to give you support around growing your email list, loving accountability, and sisterhood and community. Some of my circles even include a photo shoot with headshots and branding images. Some of the circles that I offer include speaking and facilitation opportunities at my FemTalks events. So let's see, how does it work if I'm in Los Angeles? Lauren, oh, hi, Lauren. Oh my gosh, so great to see you. I didn't even know you were here. If you're in Los Angeles, I have virtual options for you. So click the scheduling link. Oh, Heather, thank you so much. Heather gave a beautiful testimonial. She said, this mastermind circle has been the key in propelling my business and feeling supported along the way. Thank you, Heather. I love you so much. Dawn Angel says, I love working with Jessica and her mastermind circle. It's amazing how many ideas come from all the beautiful women. Oh, Ursula, working with Jessica and the mastermind has been critical to my growth these last 2 years. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, I feel loved. So in a moment, we're going to go into the little bonus content. We're just going to zip through. I just want to take a moment to appreciate all of you for taking the time to be here today, because I know that just by being here means that you are committed. You're committed to growth. You are committed to opening to, like, taking the step down the spiral staircase of opening to prosperity. And that you're the kind of woman who understands that personal growth work, business growth work is important. It's important for you. It's important for your clients. So I just want to appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. The final thing I'll say, if you're on the fence about clicking the scheduling link and booking a enrollment call with me to find out more about the circles, this is for you if you're actively looking for guidance. If you're wanting to noticeably grow your business this year, if you want me as your heart-centered business coach, I'm there in all the circles and all of the lunches. And we do one-on-one work as well. If you want a circle of high vibration women to help you figure out for yourself, your business, your way. If you're solution-oriented and if you're a positive woman and you want to create positive change and step into your full value and a whole new level of alignment to feel financially taken care of by your business. This is your year. It truly can be your year. So please schedule your Heart Connection call with me to find out more about joining. If you're having a hard time clicking the link, you can privately type in your phone number or email into the chat box to me, and I will text it to you. I'll text you the link or I'll email it to you. So for those of you that are like, I can't click the link, feel free to chat me your phone number or email address, and I will make sure you get the link. I'll personally make sure you get the link, okay? All right, you have nothing to lose. It's free. This call with me will actually give you clarity around your business. The questions I'm going to ask you are going to give you clarity. So just wanted to say that you're going to get something out of this call, whichever direction you decide to go. So we're going to open up for Q&A in a moment, but now I'm going to give you your bonuses. I'm actually going to turn off the recording because this is only for women who are here live. So thank you so much.